The Great Vacation Squeeze was made possible in part by financial support from Sierra Club Productions. Additional support was provided by Diamond Resorts International.
The family vacation, from camping to cruising, it's an American ideal. As American as apple pie. Or at least it used to be. These days, it would be more accurate to say that vacations are as European as apple strudel.
Europeans are very aware of the laughable amount of vacation times Americans get or take.
Our vacations are the shortest in any rich country, and fewer of us get them. For many Americans, the summer holiday is only a dream. Vacation time matters for happiness, family, productivity, and health.
I have patients come in and they tell me that they can't get control of their stress. What I tell them is, take 2 weeks and call me in the morning.
But in America, that's easier said than done. Welcome to No Vacation Nation. Nearly every other country on Earth guarantees vacation time by law. But the United States does not.
We need to stop, take a breath, and ask ourselves, is this the direction we should be headed?
I need a break. I need a break. I need a break from it all.
It's sunrise in California's Yosemite National Park. Backpackers are already on the trails. The famous naturalist John Muir marveled at Yosemite's high country.
Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Walk away quietly in any direction and taste the freedom of the mountaineer. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. The winds will blow their freshness into you and the storms their energy, while your cares drop off like autumn leaves.
Linda Tron and Will Taylor share Muir's sentiments.
I felt everything last night, like draining away, like all the thoughts of the city and of work and everything.
This is phenomenal, just like this whole panoramic vista that you have, and our campsite is just awesome. You wake up to this. It's fantastic. You come back so much more refreshed.
They say they are lucky to be able to come here. Many of their friends don't get enough time off to make the trip.
It's tough, you know. We come from a culture in America where everything is, you know, go, 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 you know. Keep up with the Joneses and make your life better. And I just gotta find my shell.
So even in August, backpackers like Will and Linda find it easy to escape the crowds.
Overall, we've seen the patterns of visitation changing. We've seen backcountry use decreasing. People are coming for a shorter amount of time. They're not taking the 2-week backpacking trips that they've done.
We should eat breakfast first so we can have all the energy to go.
You gonna need some more coffee?
Yep.
In world-famous Yosemite Valley, the solitude of backpacking isn't part of the picture. But for the Blanco Johnson family, nature's magic is just as real.
This is her first trip to Yosemite.
They come here every summer from Los Angeles.
I've been coming up here before I could walk. It's a family tradition. I'm now bringing my kids up. You come up here and you can really relax, slow down. You know, a cup of coffee in the morning isn't rushed. I get recharged out here.
Yeah! Are you in school right now or on vacation?
On vacation! Whee!
Coming together and breaking bread with family, cooking, hiking, swimming. I mean, these are life experiences the kids won't ever forget, because I know I didn't. I mean, then one of the things they said when we were driving up yesterday, we get to see the stars tonight. And for city kids to say that, it's special.
Family vacations create long-lasting, strong bonding memories. 75% of Americans say such memories are priceless.
There was a family that I spoke to. It seemed like for them that Yosemite was the opportunity for everyone to reconnect on a completely different level.
Family travel also improves school performance. But a third fewer families vacation together today than a generation ago, while children spend only half as much unstructured time outdoors. Time is so tight that even in Yosemite, many visitors barely leave their buses.
Over the last 20 years, the trend has been for more day use than overnight use. About 20 years ago, 80% of the visitors here to Yosemite National Park would stay overnight, and about 20% would come for the day, and that has completely reversed itself.
There is a restroom at that stop.
In fact, the average visit to Yosemite National Park right now is less than 5 hours. It affects people's behavior. People aren't stopping to look around or just to relax. They're rush, rush, rush. And I see that every day.
At Yosemite's most popular viewpoints, tourists snap quick photos, then hurry on to the next must-see location.
People are here physically, but they're not actually quite here yet. You know, they're harried, they're rushed, they're looking at their watches. All those things keep them from actually being here. We should at the entrance station say, "Excuse me, sir, ma'am, do you have a clock with you?" "Well, yes, I do." "You need to turn that in here. We need to collect all timepieces while you're here."
Ranger Shelton Johnson is certainly no slacker. He's also a gifted musician, poet, actor, and novelist.
All those people are going to the same place.
But Johnson worries that Americans are becoming obsessed with work.
If your nose is to the grindstone, are you really noticing how blue the sky is? If your nose is to the grindstone, are you really noticing that there are different birds around you that are singing a different song? I mean, I think for most of us, we work so much and we work so hard that we never even realize where we are and who we are. We're just so focused on what we're doing, which makes us like worker ants. We're just, running around doing this, doing that, and we never stop and just go, "Hey everyone, stop. Isn't it a beautiful day?" So you go across the bridge, kind of look to the right, and you'll see a little slope. Okay. And so the trail that you're looking for is this one right here. Okay. And then it's just a mile walk out to Mirror Meadow, if you have the time. Because, if you have more time, you can see more and you can do more and have more of an experience.
Okay, thank you very much.
At Happy Isles, a popular valley destination, Ranger Johnson talks with visitors, something he's been doing for 20 years.
Okay. Where are you from?
From Austria.
You're from Austria. So how much time are you going to spend here?
3 weeks.
That's a lot of time. So I got a question for you. How does it feel to you knowing that much of our visitation are people from other countries, and a lot of those visitors will have like 2 months off?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to take, 2-3 week driving vacations, and I look back and I wonder how my dad was able to get that much time off work. Yeah. And, I can never take 2 or 3 weeks off work. I mean, if I take 2 weeks off work, I feel like it's, job security. It's like, if they can get away without me for 2 weeks, then they get away without me permanently. Yeah. I think we're way too involved in our jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in some sense, you'd like to trade salary for more time if you can.
Hi. Is a weekend really long enough? I mean, I think if you talk to most Americans, they'll feel that they're just starting to get relaxed on Sunday night.
I'm not getting emails or phone calls anymore, so it's like, hey, I don't get service in the park. Turn that off.
Isn't that interesting?
Sometimes visitors cite the difficulty of escaping electronic technology.
I had the phantom ring for the first couple days. I kind of go to my pocket. I'm like, I don't even have my phone, but I still think it's ringing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad.
Do you folks think that Americans get enough vacation time?
No.
Not really.
Now, why is it that you didn't even hesitate with that?
Well, I'm out here on vacation because I preach that to my patients. They have to go away, get some time away.
Back home in New Jersey, Arnold Pillay is a family physician.
Patients will come in and see you, and they're like bouncing off the wall, and you'll say, what's going on? When's your last vacation? Sometimes it could be 6 years or more. And you say, you know, maybe your vacations were the first thing you need to do before you talk about therapy, medications, and things like that. And sometimes they'll look at you and they'll have a reason they can't.
Not only aren't they taking their time off, but they can barely make ends meet, and they're working 3 different jobs. They don't even have a weekend off.
But those who can get away appreciate the advice.
And they'll come back from vacation, and 2 months later they'll say, Doc, thanks for telling me to take that vacation, because if I hadn't listened to you, I might not feel as good as I do.
In idleness, there is the opportunity for contemplation, there is the opportunity for soul searching, for seeing, for really, truly, clearly seeing what's around us. It's like the beginning of art. It's the beginning of romance. It's the beginning of becoming human. We can't lose that.
It might be said that the idea of paid vacations began in Yosemite. In 1876, John Muir called for a law of rest that would give everyone time off each year to reconnect with nature.
Cannot leave your business, but you will leave it. Killed by overwork, you will end up in the hearse of the jolly undertaker. We work too much and rest too little. Compulsory education may be good. Compulsory recreation may be better.
More than 100 years ago, President William Howard Taft, a conservative Republican, suggested a 3-month holiday for all workers. At the time, hourly productivity was 1/10 of what it is today. Generally in those days, only wealthy Americans enjoyed holiday travel. But by the 1920s, greater access to automobiles allowed the middle class to join the exodus from the cities. During the Great Depression, the Labor Department proposed a 2-week paid vacation law. But the idea failed because of business opposition.
Vacation. That wonderful American institution of going new places and doing new things.
Still, after the Second World War, 2-week summer trips were typical for middle-class families.
We're the boys. We've come hundreds of miles to see all of this. Why aren't they out here to enjoy it?
Oh, they're back in the car planning next summer's vacation. They're reading a book.
Reading a book?
Mm-hmm.
Holiday travel even became a reason for buying a car.
So make a date today to see the USA and see it in your Chevrolet.
By the 1970s, American vacations were still at the whim of employers. But people in many other countries began to enjoy leisure by law.
I'm from Sweden, and it's typical to take up 4 weeks vacation. You get 5 weeks, it's in the law. Everybody gets 5 weeks.
Europeans live longer than Americans do. They are also far less likely to suffer from chronic illness after age 50, even though they spend much less on health care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Long vacations may be one reason for their better health. The United States is now one of only a handful of countries without a paid vacation law. The others are all very small and poor. These vacationers in Seattle still enjoy its tourist attractions. 73% of us say vacations help recharge our batteries. But fewer of us are getting out like this. The average American earns about 2 weeks off. That comes as a shock to Europeans.
I cannot imagine to have only 2 weeks. In Germany or France or Spain, there are 6 weeks. And I think it's good that it's 6 weeks.
But many employers don't even offer 2 weeks. A 2008 poll found that a quarter of American workers received no paid vacation time at all, while half got less than 1 week off. That same poll found that most Americans would support a law guaranteeing paid vacations, with a plurality favoring a 3-week holiday. Only 1 in 7 Americans takes a full fortnight's vacation each year. Even when they get them, Americans leave several vacation days on the table. Many worry about being seen as slackers if they take them. Others fear the work that will pile up while they're gone.
What I run into are people telling me if I take vacation, if I take time off, I may lose my job. I won't be able to meet my bills. I won't be able to send my kids to college. There's much more concern about that and the ability of people to apply relaxation to themselves than there was, let's say, 5 years ago.
Nearly 2/3 of us stay connected to the office, even on holidays.
The Europeans look at us and they just shake their heads and think, what motivates you people to work so hard, to work so long, and ironically, and not notice that, ironically, the harder you work, the behinder you get. You got Europe to the Back Door? That's a good book to start.
Rick Steves is a very popular travel writer.
I've spent 100 days a year, every year for the last 30 years, traveling in Europe, taking careful notes and coming home and sharing those lessons with my traveling students.
One of those lessons, confirmed by research, is that holiday travel generally brings more long-term satisfaction than consumer goods.
You want experience, or do you want stuff? Experience gives you lifelong memories, it gives you different perspectives, it enriches, it carbonates your life. Stuff just has to be maintained and taken care of and worried about.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves, back with more of the best of Europe. This time, we're in Italy. Not yesterday's Italy, but today's Italy. Where are we this time?
Milano, Rick.
Provençal life.
Host of a long-running public television program, Steves offers advice to those who seek immersion in other cultures.
We make TV shows, radio shows, guidebooks. We take 12,000 Americans on our tours every year, and I've been doing that for 30 years. And when I started out, all my tours were 22 days. And then my staff had a meeting with me and they just had to break the sad news to me. Rick, if we're gonna really take our tour business seriously, we've got to offer shorter tours because Americans just don't have 22 days.
When Steve started selling Eurail passes 30 years ago, the most popular offered a month or more of travel in as many as 20 countries.
But now you get much, much shorter passes with much more focus.
We'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the American workforce.
Your unparalleled work ethic demonstrates you have what it takes to drive yourselves into the ground.
As American vacations vanish, other companies are also taking notice.
Yet still you persevere.
And if you keep working yourselves to death, just know we'll be here for you.
Europeans have the right not to work themselves into an early grave, and they defend that. They take that whole thing about pursuit of happiness quite seriously.
But that's Europe, not the United States.
On behalf of corporate America, we'd like to thank you for siphoning valuable time away from loved ones, for trading weekends for workends, and taking one for the team, even as your overall quality of life takes a nosedive. Thanks to your hard work and dedication, 26% of Americans don't take any vacation at all.
So what happened?
Good work, America.
Why are American vacations disappearing at a time when we are much richer than before?
To me, it seems like we've lost track of what life is all about because we're pressured to constantly be growing, always more. To me, the crisis, the economic crisis, is having to constantly grow. It's like the hamster was going as fast as he could 5 years ago, and every year he's got to go faster. We need to get smart about what really matters. What really matters? The well-being of our seniors, the health of our environment, the shaping of our children, the freedom to enjoy our lives without always having to play for our financial well-being and constantly growing.
Offering more vacation time might actually be smart business. Many studies find that workers are more productive when they take breaks, and 84% of Americans agree.
I think about what I can do for my job, how I can improve upon it, and it's like a conference, you know, you get re-energized when you go to conferences. Same thing for me when I go on a vacation.
Hi, Ellen.
9 in 10 Americans believe vacations improve both happiness and health. That matters when medical care is so expensive and Americans report unparalleled levels of stress.
Stress is everywhere. It's ubiquitous in our society. It can do great harm to us. The way we work is all out. We basically work too much, we have too many demands on our time. Is that just time constraint? We don't spend enough attention and time on our health portfolio. We spend too much time on our financial portfolio.
Of a stressful day, or anything different?
Dr. Sarah Speck calls stress the new tobacco.
Stress causes us to constrict our blood vessels just like nicotine and tobacco does. Stress is as important in developing heart disease as having uncontrolled high blood pressure or being medically obese. That's the biochemical power of being overworked and overburdened and feeling stressed.
It's one of those mornings, lots on my mind.
Men who don't take vacations are 30% more likely to have a heart attack than men who do take vacations.
For women who don't take vacations, the number is higher, at 50%. They are also much more likely to suffer from depression.
The pharmaceutical industry applauds this nation's obsession with career advancement. Thanks to your inability to balance life with work, sales are through the roof. Indeed, 45% of Americans don't use all of their vacation time, a proven cause of stress-induced illness and depression. So stay the course.
We've got to have our replenishing time. So what I'm seeing as a healthcare professional is that rather than people having heart attacks in their 60s and 70s when I first became a cardiologist, I'm now seeing it in their 40s and 50s.
Troy Glennon thinks a change is long overdue. Until recently, he ran a small travel business from a Seattle garage.
I started Go South Adventures in order that I could guarantee, as the boss, time off to travel. I feel that 1 month it should be the minimum, and that's our minimum.
Glennon offered small group tours to Patagonia, the Galapagos Islands, and Machu Picchu. But for his American clients, the trips always seemed short.
I mean, it's funny to see people who are already exhibiting stress before their vacation has ended, you know, and sort of lamenting, especially when they look around to their European counterparts or, you know, Australians. It makes us all jealous. It makes us all jealous and a little resentful, I think. How is it in the United States that we can't have parity with Europeans?
A bill introduced in Congress in 2009 would have mandated a week or 2 of paid vacation time. It went nowhere.
How important are vacations to your overall well-being? Very important?
For vacations to become law in America, the process may have to begin at the state level.
So how satisfied are you with the frequency that you are able to take vacations? So most of you, it seems like somewhat satisfied or unsatisfied.
At a Western Washington University interactive forum, students debate the issue.
Feeling like your position at work is being jeopardized because you're on vacation is a really huge fear for a lot of American workers. And if there was a mandatory paid vacation that was countrywide, it would help eliminate that fear.
Recently I took a week-long vacation, and what I realized when I returned was that the vacation was very rejuvenating and offered me a lot of opportunity to reflect on my life and leave my normal routines. And it wasn't until I returned from that vacation that I realized how powerful that was for me.
But the sentiment is not unanimous.
It's a great idea, but it seems a little unrealistic.
I think it should be left up to the owner of the business whether they want to give paid vacation to their employees or not.
I think it's also important to remember that not a lot of people can afford to have vacations.
Still, a majority seems eager to show support.
Would you be willing to support a mandatory paid vacation law in Washington? So we've got 4% of people saying they're not interested in supporting this law. We have 25% saying that they would sign a petition.
No state currently has such a law, But Puerto Ricans who are American citizens get 3 weeks of mandated annual leave.
Saying they would lobby.
You really wind down that first week. And then that second week is just, you're really relaxed. You're not thinking about work. So having 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off, it's nice, it really is.
The case for paid vacations is well supported by research. Still, many small business owners believe they can't offer time off when their competitors don't. They need help to cope with the scheduling issues that come with more vacation time and a little time to make the transition. Yet can't the world's richest nation provide what virtually every other country already does?
The only thing exceptional about Americans is our ability to think we are exceptional. I just feel so strongly about that.
And of course, we are exceptional when it comes to vacation time. So as obesity rates rise, health costs soar, and children lose touch with nature and play, don't we all need a little break?
Let's try to get on a ballot. Let's try to bring this to a national forum so we can all move forward and lead healthier, happier, and productive lives, ultimately.
I need a break, need to catch my breath. I need a break so I don't work myself to death. I need to stop. I'm busy all the time. It's just no way to live. It feels like such a crime. I feel like I'm gonna hit the wall. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break from it all.
For more information, or to purchase a copy of this video, visit greatvacationsqueeze.org. The Great Vacation Squeeze was made possible in part by financial support from Sierra Club Productions. Additional support was provided by Diamond Resorts International.